coming back to the American Ethanol Green Flag. Again, it's Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Jimmie Johnson, Denny Hamlin and Trevor Bayne. Then it's Kevin Harvick and Tony Stewart coming to the American Ethanol Green Flag.
Junior and Jimmie side by side. Junior tries to break out, but Jimmie hangs tough with him. Big push from behind. Denny Hamlin right down on the inside lane behind Dale Earnhardt Jr., pushing him up to turn one.
All chips in the center of the table now. Green-white checkers for all the marbles, and Earnhardt is away with the lead. Hamlin shoves his way to second. Kevin Harvick trying to bull his way through the low line to third.
Jimmie Johnson will fall back into that side-by-side battle with Kevin Harvick. Now here's Hamlin. He'll jump up in front of Johnson. Junior will jump up in front of Hamlin. Oh, Junior's making that car awfully wide, trying to keep them all behind him as they race back to three.
Denny Hamlin pedaling hard back into corner number 4. He's in the second position. Kevin Harvick is third down low, but it's Dale Earnhardt Jr., the race leader.
Racing off turn number 4, back to the start-finish line. Dale Earnhardt Jr. at the front of the field. He will see the white flag in the air. The race for second is a good one. To the inside, it's Denny Hamlin. To the outside, it's Jimmie Johnson.
Final time into turn number 1 for all the marbles. Junior with the lead. Hamlin second, leaning on Jimmie Johnson as they touch in the middle of the corner. Hamlin down low. Johnson up high. Dale Jr. leads by 2.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. to the bottom of the racetrack. They're jostling behind him now as they race halfway down the back straightaway. Here's Junior. He'll jump up in front of Jimmie Johnson. Dale Earnhardt Jr. leads back to the corner.
He was so strong here on Friday in practice. He's been dominant here throughout the evening. At Daytona, the final time off turn 4, Dale Earnhardt Jr. with the lead. As it should be, Dale Earnhardt Jr. shows the way, crosses over to block Denny Hamlin into the tri-oval. Jr. scores the win. Hamlin spins at the line. 12, 13 cars involved in a spin at the start-finish line. Fire coming out, sparks everywhere, everyone spinning, but Dale Earnhardt Jr. does the job. He gets it done tonight, winning for the 4th time at Daytona.
Well, this is a bad crash here to end this one. Austin Dillon upside down into the outside catch fence area. Then he was hit again by Brad Keselowski immediately. Safety crews, or actually not safety crews, but team members from other race teams have come to the aid of Austin Dillon, who flipped wildly at the start-finish line. That car got into the catch fence. Winston Kelly, that car is about at your feet.
It is upside down. It is completely torn apart, but we've seen several crew members turn around and put their thumbs up. We have not seen Austin Dillon get out of the car, but a number of crew members went to him. That car is just completely disintegrated. Further down in the grassy area is the engine. We see one of the rear end housings, or the rear end housing, and a tire off. As it appears that Austin Dillon has now crawled out of the car. He's taking his helmet off, so Austin Dillon has not made his way to the ambulance, but he is out of the car, and he puts his hands up in the air. So Austin Dillon is okay after a scary, scary crash here at the end of the Coca-Cola 600, or the Coca-Cola 400.
And no better way to describe it than scary, scary, Rusty Wallace. Austin Dillon got out of that race car turn, and I think you could hear the crowd in the background acknowledging Austin climbing from that just destroyed race car.
It was a really good look, and one thing that was so cool is everybody was past the start-finish line. The wreck happened after that, and when I was sitting there, the crew ran out. A lot of crew guys to help Austin Dillon. It was safe for them to do that, and Austin had to love those crew guys trying to help him. We got a catch fence tore up a little bit. We'll have to take a look at this later on.
All right, Rusty, thank you very much. Now, this was a wild end to this. Let's not forget that Dale Earnhardt Jr., he won today as we see the engine actually laying in the infield grass of Austin Dillon's car. Boy, that's going to make a top 10 list somewhere. But the good news is, again, Austin Dillon did climb from that race car. Same for Brad Keselowski. Other cars were involved. We believe at this particular point that everybody is okay. Our congratulations to Dale Earnhardt Jr. He has won here at Daytona for the 4th time in his career. He was out front at the end of the AutoZone Go Zone. Every NASCAR driver knows the closing laps of a race are when the tensions mount and victory is within sight. With the laps counting down, it's time to make your move and get to the front. You're in the AutoZone Go Zone.
Back at Daytona International Speedway, no one has left the grandstands after a wild finish. Dale Earnhardt Jr. does get the victory. Again, so many cars beaten up and bruised, and the scary ride for Austin Dillon. We'll cover it all for you, but right now to Alex Hayden.
Yeah, Jeff Gordon is down here. He's actually taking a peek at the replay himself. Jeff, a wild finish there. What did you see happen?
I think somebody turned the 11 on that final lap. And this is this is why we love our fans, man. They come here to see some crazy, wild stuff, and we're going to give it to them, because I tell you what, on that last lap, nobody's lifting. There's nobody that's letting out of the gas. Unfortunately, this is the result of it. I hope everybody's okay. That's a scary, scary accident, but I just know I think I had Harvick ahead of me. I had the 3 behind me, and I saw the 11 get turned sideways right as we got to the start-finish line. And then, I got into the back of the 4. He turned, and somebody got in the back of me. I turned, and just created chaos and melee. It's the best finish I've had here in a long time. So, I'll take it. I just hate to see it happen that way.
That's Jeff Gordon. 6th place finish here at Daytona tonight. Let's go to Steve Post.
Working back here in the garage area, Alex, they're trying to track down Kevin Harvick, but he's way up at the other end. We'll see if we can catch a word with him in just a moment.
Again, with the helter-skelter style of the finish here, a lot of the top 5 finishers who are normally herded together by NASCAR to be accessed by our reporters after the event, well, they've all spun and gone in all sorts of different directions. But again, the best news of it all, in addition to Dale Earnhardt getting the win, if you're a Dale Jr. fan, is the fact that Austin Dillon came across the line, and as the car was totally disintegrating, bouncing off the catch fence, getting hit by others, he ends up okay, climbs from the car, unofficially comes home in 7th spot. But remarkably, the power plant, the entire engine of that car, is sitting on the grass here in front of the main grandstand, Steve. It's almost a maudlin-looking trophy.
Kevin Harvick standing down here. Kevin, we're watching the Sprint Vision screen here. What did you see here at the coming to the finish?
Yeah, just a lot of pushing and shoving. Just got to thank everybody on my Jimmie Johnson team first. And I caught the 11 there. He had a big piece of damage on the left rear, but at that point you couldn't let off, and then it finally just snagged him and turned him as he was kind of in the middle of the track. So hate that all happened, but just at the end of the race it just becomes pretty aggressive.
And it's kind of the standard. How was the race as it went on? Was it normal, more so, less so? How was the race overall?
Well, at the end it always ratchets up into being more aggressive, and I think as you get towards the end there's a lot of take, and you got to push and you got to shove and you got to stay in the gas. So it's just you hate to see it all wind up like that, but that's going to happen.
Kevin Harvick, 4th place finish here tonight at Daytona. Alex?
Kurt Busch, a 5th place finish tonight. Kurt, wild finish to this one. Describe the way the race went for you, basically from the start to where we finished this thing.
It was a tough battle. We had some damage on the right front that we had to repair, and went back, went forth. We didn't quite lead tonight. The 88 and the 48 were really strong, but I'm really proud of our Haas Automation Chevrolet team. The way that the race could have played out, I don't know if we could have gotten anything better than 5th. And so it's just one of those races where it comes down to the end, and I think of it like poker. You got to get to the final table, and we were at the final table. We had fresh tires. I just put it in the middle and let it rip, and we finished 5th. So it's just tough to see a finish like that. We want to see the car stay attached to the track.
No question. Kurt Busch comes home today in the number 5 position.
All right, Alex, thank you very much. In just moments, we'll be heading down to Gatorade Victory Lane, where we will hear from Dale Earnhardt Jr. He led 96 laps here today. Next closest, Jimmie Johnson. He led 35 laps. And for Dale Earnhardt Jr., he's continuing to be a master on the restrictor plate tracks. He has won 3 of the last 7 races on the restrictor plate tracks, both Daytona and Talladega. Of course, 4 Daytona wins now, is tied for 7th all time, and his 16 total wins at Daytona, counting the NASCAR Xfinity Series and non-points events, showing that he very much along the lines of his dad, who was a master at the big tracks, Dale Jr., just continues to be the guy to beat. And he told us on pre-race coverage that he had the car that could win, and he knew exactly what he was talking about. I don't know if anybody expected it would be at 9 minutes before 3 o'clock in the morning, but nevertheless, Dale Earnhardt Jr. picking up the Ryan Newman, Trevor Bayne, and Clint Boyer. That was your top 10 here at Daytona International Speedway. Lots to bring you, of course. We'll be hearing from other top finishers. But right now, we await Dale Earnhardt Jr. making his way to Gatorade Victory Lane. And he and Greg Ives, they told us again earlier this week and again here today, they said, we have the race car that can win this event. And it was interesting when Dale got out of his car in Victory Lane. First thing he did was turn around and applaud the entire crew who had beaten him to the Victory Lane area. He turned around, gave them a wild round of applause. So right now, let's head down to Gatorade Victory Lane and hear from the man of the morning, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Eli, just saying, the man of the morning, the man of the hour, Dale Earnhardt Jr. So much to talk about, exciting race. Take us through that last couple of laps and that last restart and what you had to do to hold those guys off.
Well, the guys that deserve all the credit are standing here in Victory Lane with me. The engine guys back at the shop, they do such an awesome job building motors for these cars. We have the best engines in the sport. We have for years. My guys in the 4888 shop put together such great race cars. This is our Talladega winner, so we knew it had good potential. And I just wanted to be on the inside. I really think a lot of Denny's restrictor plate skill, so I felt like that he was a good guy to be in front of. It just didn't make any sense to me to pick the outside lane with so few laps to go. It just seems like you're given an opportunity to that inside lane. So if I could make the work, I wanted to do it on the bottom. Denny's really good at the plate tracks, and he gave me some great pushes getting out into the lead there. And so that worked out for me. I know the 4 was behind him and giving him some opportunities to get to us. But we pulled in front of all the lanes that were coming to keep our car's momentum up and keep getting the shove from the guys that were coming. And it worked out okay. Just hate to see what we saw there at the end. That scared the hell out of everybody, us included. I saw it all in the mirror. It's just very frightening. Really glad that everybody's okay. Hate to see the race end that way.
Looked like it was going to be between you and Jimmie Johnson most of the day, the two strongest cars. What do you feel like gave you the edge to come home to Victory Lane?
Just the power in this car and the ability this car has to pass. We got shuffled back a few times, and it's all race car when you're trying to make the moves to get back up there. If you know where to put it, it'll go and get to where you want to go. So I made some good choices, but the car's got to be able to make that happen, and if it can't, you're not going to go anywhere. So a lot of good race car power, engine Hendrick power, and these guys standing here that put it together is just amazing. Such a treat. I've been in, I don't know, I just feel real lucky that I've been in such good equipment at Daytona and Talladega pretty much my whole career. It's been an amazing ride.
Second time in 2015, he's in Victory Lane, backing up Talladega. Fourth time at Daytona, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in Victory Lane.
All right, Winston, thank you. And, of course, our congratulations to Dale Earnhardt Jr. That celebration is going to continue for a while down in Gatorade Victory Lane. Gatorade, the official sports beverage of Daytona International Speedway. Let's go back to Alex Hayden.
With the driver who, after NASCAR looked at it again, comes home second, Jimmie Johnson, wild finish. You've had the opportunity to see multiple views of it on a monitor. Your thoughts here on this finish of this one at Daytona?
Really just hoping everybody's okay. I mean, man, that was a massive, massive wreck. Happy to hear that Austin's okay. I've never seen a car stop that fast. I mean, it is just incredible what took place over there and how he got airborne, too. Typically, you see a car backwards to get airborne, and he just had a little contact on the left front and got air under the nose, and the thing took off like an airplane. So I'm glad Austin's okay. I'm just hoping that the fans are okay. It's a frightening moment. And I saw it in the mirror, and I didn't know what to think. I mean, it's just a frightening thing to see, and certainly hope everybody's okay.
Was it the type of racing you expected tonight, or did you have the opportunity, if you could, to pull out by yourself and make any passes?
Passing for the lead was really tough. You could pass and get to second with ease to a certain degree if you're doing stuff right. But to pass for the lead was the hardest thing to get done. And you put Dale Jr. on the front of this thing with how great of a driver he is and how well he works the draft. You're not going to get by. So congrats to him. It looks like we got a 1-2 for the shop, and I know that's a very proud moment. And I'm sure it'll be a party till probably midday tomorrow over at Junior's house.
Whenever that might be. Jimmie Johnson comes home today in the second position.
All right, guys, thank you very much. You know, normally when the driver goes across the line and gets the checkered flag, he gets on the radio and he starts celebrating the victory. But interesting, as you will hear right here, Dale Earnhardt Jr. didn't celebrate the win. He showed concern about the accident.
Checker flag right here. Big wreck in your mirror. Big wreck in your mirror. Oh, no. Oh, my God. Holy that looks awful. Yeah, buddy, it's pretty bad. Oh, no. Good job, Dale. He's already out, buddy. He's out of the car. He's already getting ready to get out. Is everybody all right? Yeah, they gave a thumbs up. They gave a thumbs up already. Is everybody in the grandstands okay? Yeah, I don't see any commotion really in the grandstands here, buddy. I think everything, 10-4. So all the drivers are good and everybody's good in the grandstands. Yeah, Austin's out of the car, and I don't see anybody really hurt in the grandstands. There's no real commotion or anything. I think everything's good. Maybe just a couple little minor pieces. Damn. That's good news. Man, that looked so scary.
And folks, that is an insight into exactly what Dale Earnhardt Jr. is about. Sure, he was happy to win, but the concern, as you heard, was about Austin Dillon and, importantly, about the fans in the grandstand. That winning moment brought to you by Advance Auto Parts. Advance Auto Parts introduces Speed Perks Reward Program. Spend $100 and get $20 off your next qualified purchase. No cards, no points, no nonsense. See details online at advanceautoparts.com. Back downstairs to Steve Post.
Well, out of the care center, the good news is Denny Hamlin. Denny, looks like you're all right. And what happened out there?
I got turned by the 4 right at the line, where you're pretty much the race is over. I mean, we're not going to win from the position we were at, but I guess he's pushing, he's trying to help, and just got in a wreck there, and it tore up a lot of stuff. But it looks like everybody's okay. So. Overall, really good day for our FedEx Ground Toyota. I mean, we were battling within those Hendrick engines all day, and their cars are fast and they're really good drivers and they work well together and they just do such a great job. And I was proud to just be in the middle of them, actually.
There we go. Denny Hamlin manages to smile talking about that, but boy, I'll tell you what, he's out of the care center, and Denny Hamlin is all right.
And that was his 4th straight top 6 finish here at the World Center of Racing. So, we've got lots more to talk about, but Joe Moore, Jeff Striegel, Rusty Wallace, it happened right there at your feet. A remarkable finish to a most bizarre day, night, and morning here at Daytona.
A big win for Dale Earnhardt Jr. and obviously Junior Nation jumping up and down and cheering, but man, that was scary. That crash that happened right behind him as he came across the start-finish line, it's the kind of thing you just do not want to see at a racetrack, Rusty.
It scared me to death. It really did. I mean, but if there's anything good out of it, when it hit that catch fence, it threw that car right back on the racetrack, and that's what it was made to do, and it worked. I was really happy to see that, and we haven't got any reports of anybody being hurt in the grandstands or anything like that. I hope everybody's okay. But that was probably one of the scariest sights I've ever seen, because the 3-car with Austin Dillon, Jeff and I were just talking about that. He just stopped so sudden. The car just didn't slide and spin and all that. It just stopped. It stopped with such force that it severed the engine out of it. The engine flew out of it. The front of the car was chopped off. And here comes this kid popping off from underneath of it. Mm-hmm. And it had to be one of the coolest sights I've ever seen. All the crew guys helping get him out of there. It was nerve-wracking. And I echo the sentiments of Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's running 200 miles per hour, and he sees it in his rearview mirror, and it scares him to death. It's a bad wreck when it does that to somebody.
And, of course, he was also then hit as that car laid upside down, minus the engine, minus the front end, by Brad Keselowski, who was spinning also out of control, and hit him at, I would have to guess, 170 plus. And, there's one thing I want to say. The first people to the side of that car, now granted, NASCAR probably does not approve of this, but yet when safety was a factor, Joe, the first team to that car was Dale Earnhardt's Jr. crew. They were also joined there by the Geico crew, also some members from the Great Clips crew. In other words, this is a big NASCAR family. And while everybody wanted to make sure that everybody was safe and celebrate at that particular moment, everybody's attention was on Austin Dillon, and they wanted to get out there, make sure that if he was in danger, that at least somebody was there to try to lend him some aid.